It's time to bring up another speaker. It's time to bring up another speaker. Let's do this, okay? Type event if this has been the best virtual event you've ever been to so far, and we're only halfway done, by the way, okay? If you're like, dude, this is nuts, it's about to get better. Please follow this 5-step growth formula and get serious about committing to your future in 2022. It's time to break through. Our next speaker is an absolute application machine. As he writes more than 1,000 Medicare policies every single year, he has systems and processes that can help anyone sell more of anything. All the way from Denver, Colorado, the dude always shows up. Please welcome to the 8% virtual stage, the creator of Medicare Peace of Mind, Mr. Joshua Youngs. Appreciate you, bro. Let's go.
I have to follow that. All right.
Let's go. Joshua Youngs. Give it up. Give it up. Give it up. Let's go.
Let's go. Thank you for having me. I want to give some value. What an experience this has been today, has it not? Just sitting in the rooms, watching everybody's reactions on Zoom, it's really a fun experience. And that's really what my tips are going to be about. I don't have a ton of time, and I want to give you usable information that you can take tomorrow and apply to your business so you can do more business. Who wants to double their business this year? Because I did it last year on accident. I call it on accident. I was just motivated properly. But in reality, what it takes is outside the box thinking. Does everybody understand what I mean by be constrained by the box? So we've all been given a box on some level. You've been given a box, whether it's your upline, your training program, the platform you're in, the life insurance, the Medicare space, whatever space you're in, they told you what the box looks like. And so I get asked a lot, what is it about what I'm doing that allows me to write more apps than most people do? And the number one thing is I think outside the box. I try to take stuff that other people are doing, they're successful with, and I try to make that my own. I want to create an experience for the customer. Because when you create an experience for your customer, you get several different things. What you're going to get is you're going to get more referrals. You're going to get higher retention rates. You're going to have more cross-selling opportunities. Doubling your income could be just as simple as all of a sudden I'm now adding one extra product to the person I've already helped. But so for me, outside the box thinking is take whatever method you're doing now. So if you're working the phone, you're working leads, you're working door to door, you're door knocking, whatever it is, how can I make the experience for the person I'm going to call unique and better than any other experience they're going to get from anyone else? So for me, I don't have to work leads if I don't want to. That should be everybody's goal, is to get to a point where you're working nothing but referrals, 100% referrals. If you can do that, that is the holy grail, so to speak. And the reason I say that is when you're working referrals, most of the trust that you need to develop relationships normally already built in. So it shortens the cycle. It quickens how quickly you can get through that. So how do you write 500 plus apps in AEP? You have to see a lot of people in a short amount of time. And so what you have to do is you have to compress your time and see more people in less time. So thinking outside the box, here's some examples of what I mean. So there's a process people have given me to work a lead. Here's a lead, call it, get them to answer the phone, set an appointment, turn the appointment into an application, turn the application into money. Because at the end of the day, we all get paid to submit applications. But to get the application, we have to create the relationship. To create the relationship, you have to get them to answer the phone, you have to get them to answer the door, you have to get them to read the email, you have to get them to do something. So here's an example. I do direct mail leads, I do digital leads, I do referral leads, I do all kinds of stuff. What I'm going to focus on now is just an outside-the-box experience and that I've put together that has worked very well. So a typical insurance agent will do a direct mail drop, they'll wait for the leads to come back in, then they'll start making phone calls. That's the normal process. You try to work those leads. I'm going to go a step beyond that. I'm going to always get a copy of the list. I want a copy of the list where I'm mailing to. I want a copy of the list of people that are responding. I want the list, because what you can do is you can take the average direct mail response, which is 1% to 2% nationally whenever I talk to anybody. And for me, I can take that same list and I can convert it to 10%. So you say, how the heck do you do that? Well, I don't just stop at working the lead. I work the leads, then I take the list, and I think creatively. So in my space for Medicare, which is where I spend most of my time, I'm mailing someone 6, 7, 10, 12 months sometimes before they're turning 65, for their birthday, for their time for them to make a decision happens. So I know I've got a long road to close. So thinking outside the box, one of the things I do is I know in my mind I'm going to get a planner. So if, for those of you that you'll see Nate later, you're dealing with greens mostly when it comes to somebody sending back a card 9 months in advance of them turning 65. And so there's a process that you can adapt to get those people to close. But what about the procrastinators? Does anybody not agree that the biggest group of people is procrastinators? Raise your hand if you've ever procrastinated before. I'm the king of it. I wait till the very last second, and then I put myself in the pinch, and I perform in the clutch. That's what I try to do. However, what you want to do, here's one thing you can do. I get an extra 1% to 2% off of every list that I get simply by making sure that I have their birthday or birth month, anything close. And what I do is anybody here ever received a birthday card? Okay, if you get a birthday card in the mail, no matter who it's from, do you open it or you throw it away? So an outside-the-box concept would be, how do I get somebody to read the information I'm sending to them? Well, if I know someone's turning 65 in the next 6 months, 8 months, 9 months, 10 months, what if I mail them a birthday card? I don't care if it's 6 months early. If you get a birthday card in June and your birthday is in December, are you still going to open it? Say yes, because 99.9% of people are still going to open the card. So get them to open the card by sending them a birthday card. Allow me to be the first one to tell you happy birthday, and oh, by the way, here's what you need to do to get your Medicare done. I get another 1% to 2% off of every list just by doing that. And you can do it multiple times, because guess what? The closer you get to the birthday, the more of a procrastinator that person is. And so if you're able to create an outside-the-box experience, and again, it's the experience. Sometimes I'll ask them, what made you call me back? Well, I don't get very many birthday cards. You understand the outside-the-box thinking has to create an experience for the person. When you're creating your own box, so that's where, once you go outside to somebody else's box, so I've been given a training system, I've been given how to work things correctly, and I made some adaptations to that system. I'm thinking outside the box. I'm sending birthday cards instead of just working the leads. Eventually, you can create your own box. What I mean by that is, when you create your own box, you create your own method of getting leads, of getting referrals. What's the number one reason you're going to get a referral? Type it in chat. What's the number one reason you think you're going to get a referral? It's because they like you? Is it because they trust you? Is it because of the experience? Is it because of just the heck of it? Think about the last restaurant that you recommended to someone else. What kind of experience did you have? I've had great food at a lot of restaurants. Very few times do I make the recommendation to someone else to go there. It usually takes the entire experience to get me to go over that hump. What I mean by that is the service has got to be on point. The price has got to be on point. The food's got to be on point. They've got to go above and beyond. I see a lot of videos of people that go and pay $1,000 for a steak dinner, but it's not about the food, it's about the experience. And so you've got to think outside the box to create an experience for your client where they not only want to stay with you, but they want to tell everybody they know about it. Because what's the reason you tell someone else about a good restaurant? You want them to have the same experience that you had. You want to share that joy with somebody else. Most of us like to share joy. So create a situation where you get joy. Innovate. Innovate, innovate. Create the experience that's going to make people want to call you, want to show up at your door, want to email you, want to find you. So for me, it started very small in the beginning. I didn't have a lot of money to work with. So it started with just an envelope for me. I just had an envelope, and I had different versions of that envelope. What am I going to put in the envelope? What am I going to put on the envelope? Here's another golden ticket. Does anybody raise your hand if you've had a problem with people opening your mail? They say, I didn't get it, I didn't open it, I didn't read it, and any of that stuff. One small trick I learned very early, I'm a big fisherman, I love fishing, so every single envelope, every single piece of mail, every single postcard that goes out of my office has a fish sticker on it. And my clients have been trained to look out for the fish sticker. In essence, I've branded my marketing pieces. It helps them to understand, okay, there's tons of mail coming in, there's lots of junk, especially someone that has to deal with insurance. Raise your hand if you've received a mail piece about either homeowners protection or mortgage protection or life insurance in the last couple of months. But most of us throw it away. But what if that card created an experience somehow? That's the thinking you have to have. You have to think outside the box in order to have that happen. So my challenge to each of you is to take one process. Start small. Take one process. If you're making calls over the phone, figure out what's one thing I can do at the beginning of the call, the middle of the call, the end of the call, to create a unique experience for that person. And I'll give you an example. I'm running out of time, and I'll give you an example, and I got to go. So if someone answers the phone, I've heard lots of people say, you want to find out, hi, how are you? How you been? Any of that kind of stuff. One thing that I do is I do research before I call a lead. I'm going to Facebook stalk. I'm going to see if somebody's on Facebook. I'm going to pull up Google Maps. I'm going to stare at their house, look at their front yard, see what kind of stuff they have in there. Do they have toys in their front yard? Do they have a nice car? And then in the conversation, you want to implant that information. So if I notice on someone's Facebook that they have a bunch of pictures of gardening, I'm going to talk about how I like gardening at some point in that conversation. It's about customizing the experience so that the person connects with you on a personal level. If you're able to do that, if you're able to create a unique experience, then there's no limit to how many applications that you can do, other than the number of time that you have in the day. So thank you very much.
Hey, if you enjoyed this, I got another one you're gonna love. It's right there. Click on it. See you in there. Hey, you see all these people talking about how they want to be a millionaire. They will do whatever it takes to make $1 million a year. I'm Cody Askins. I made my first $1 million when I was 28. And I'm gonna talk